Okay, input test mode. Again, we need switch number 1 in the on position, that is to the right, so that when we power the unit up, it goes into the operating mode select menu. Once in the operating mode select menu, we're going to push button number 1 several times until the display at the bottom indicates the desired mode. In our case, input test mode. Once it's indicating the desired mode, we push button number 2 to go into that mode. So input test mode. This may not mean much to those of you who aren't electronically minded, but for KOE use and for those of you with electronic knowledge, you might find this quite interesting. These three character displays are showing the hexadecimal value of the 3 analog inputs. This one here is the source supply voltage in hexadecimal, which we can't adjust at the moment because we have a power supply that doesn't have an adjustable voltage. These two here are the temperature and the fuel gauge readings. So let's just vary those. The temperature input, you can see as we take the temperature down, the voltage goes up because the resistance of the temperature sender increases with lower temperature, and as we increase the temperature, the hex value decreases. And the opposite way around for the fuel gauge. So that digit to the right, that display to the right there, is showing the hex value of the fuel gauge. The fuel gauge and the temperature gauge themselves are also responding in input test mode. In input test mode, we also use the miles per hour or kilometers per hour indicator to indicate whether or not it's receiving a speedo signal. So if we switch the speedo signal on, it flashes with pulses of the speedo. As we increase the rate of the speedo signal, that speed will increase as well. So we just can tell that the unit is receiving pulses from the speedo. This NOR means normal sensitivity mode, and we have a discrete input to the unit which can change between normal and high sensitivity mode. So that shows that the unit is seeing that input. These red-green indicators respond to in the same way that they do in normal running mode, to the same inputs. These diagnostic LEDs we use in input test mode to indicate that the module can see the various switches. So if I use the switch 1 on or off, we've connected that to the speedo diagnostic LED. Likewise switch 2 and switch 3, we can see that the module is seeing those inputs by the response on these LEDs. We also have a facility to check the 2 push buttons. If we push the push button number 1, the red element of the bicolor LED illuminates, and if we push button number 2, the green element of the bicolor LED illuminates. So that allows us to check that every single input to the unit is being seen by the microcontroller. And that is input test mode.